Alright, well, if you recall from our last video, we've decided on the Persian plan of attack, which is to be charging through in the centre there, trying to stop the Macedonians from getting across the river. We've got 5 commands to play with, so we're going to activate this group for 2 commands to attack Alexander. So Alexander has put the light cavalry in the lead. You can see that there. Now, lead units are an important concept in lost battles because lead units are the chaps who bear the brunt of the enemy assaults. They also get to attack first themselves, so they get a bonus when they're attacking too. So it's important to decide which unit is best for you defensively and also which unit is best for you offensively when you're thinking about who you'll put in the lead. So in this case, Alexander didn't attack last turn, so he's put his best defensive unit in the lead, which in this case is average light cavalry. So average heavy cavalry attacking average light cavalry is going to hit on a roll of 8, but they also get +1 for being a lead unit and +1 for attacking chaps who are in a river zone. So we're going to be needing a 7 to hit. So costs 2 commands to activate the zone, so we take those off to start with, and then we roll our dice. We roll a measly 5, so that is no hit. Now, in this scenario, each zone has an attack limit of 4, which means that 4 units can attack out of one zone into another zone, which is fairly obvious. Different units take up different amounts of this attack limit. So a standard unit, for example, phalangites, they count as 1 towards the attack limit. Average cavalry units count as 2 because, well, they're bigger. So we can get only 2 units attacking out of this zone. So the first unit missed, the second one will get to have a roll also against the lead unit of light cavalry. So average heavy cavalry versus light cavalry again is hitting on an 8. We don't get a lead unit bonus because they're not a lead unit, and we don't count the attacking into a river zone bonus for any other units apart from the lead one either. So we're just needing an 8 to hit. So let's say for argument's sake we roll a 10 and score a hit. So what happens is that the lead unit in the zone being attacked is flipped over to its spent side, and Alexander then gets the option of replacing that unit with a fresh unit. So in this case he decides, well, we'll chuck the veteran light infantry into the lead there. Now that zone has used up, as we said before, the attack limit is 4, and because cavalry units count as 2 towards that, or average cavalry units count as 2 towards that, they don't have any more attacks they can do. So that activation has finished. So it costs 2 points to do that, as we saw before. So the second priority is going to be activating this zone for an attack here. So the lead unit here is going to be phalangites, so heavy infantry. Here we've got 2 units of average heavy cavalry, 1 of levy heavy cavalry and 1 of average light cavalry. So we're going to lead off with the heavy cavalry because even though light cavalry is a better defensive option, we want to try and score as many hits as we can, and heavy cavalry's got a better chance of hitting the heavy infantry. So that's going to cost us another 2 commands to activate this zone. So that brings us down to here. Now, because we're down to 0 or 1 commands, we get to roll our magic command dice. In this case we get a 6, so that's pretty handy. So we add 6 commands to that, which takes us back up to 7. So now we can start thinking about how best to use those remaining commands. So we're attacking here. We've already paid our 2 commands to activate the zone. Now we can think about adding command bonuses, also combat bonuses. So a combat bonus for most units costs 2 commands, and it gives them a +1 to attack. Leading off then with the average heavy cavalry against heavy infantry. If you look at the QRS, it will show you that average heavy cavalry needs a 9 to hit average heavy infantry. But we're in a lead unit position, which gives us a further +1, sorry, a +1, and we're attacking into a river zone, which gives us a second +1, and we're giving them a command for a combat bonus for the cost of 2 commands. So we've got +3. We're needing 6s to hit. So let's see what we can do. And we get a 9. So that's 1 hit, and we're 3 points above the score we needed, which was a 6. So if we want to, we can all-out attack to score a double hit. Now, an all-out attack is when you spend a unit of your own to spend a unit of the enemy. So in this case, I think we want to do that. If we'd been 4 points above, if we'd rolled a 10, we would have got a double hit automatically because it's 4 above the required roll. But because it's 3 above, we score 1 hit, and if we want to all-out attack, we can to score the second hit. So that's what we decide to do. We spend this unit, and we also spend another unit. So they bring forward their remaining fresh unit to take the lead position. So that's quite a successful attack. Now, we have to change our lead unit now because that unit is spent. So we're going to chuck another average heavy cavalry unit into the lead and attack again. So remember, the attack limit is 4, so we've used 2 of our 4, and this is going to be the last 2. So this is our last attack. Now, if we wanted to, we could give these guys another combat bonus at a cost of 3, and I think we're going to do that because it's quite important to try and hit now. So again, needing a 9 to hit, +1 for the combat bonus means that we're hitting on an 8. And we score a 9, which is enough to do another hit. So that's a very successful turn in the centre. We've scored 3 hits at the cost of 1 to ourselves. So that zone is now quite vulnerable. So looking over here, we're left with 3 commands. So if you remember, we'd decided that these were the important zones to activate in the army, and also we want to get the hoplites in as soon as possible. So we're going to use a further 2 commands to deploy the hoplites. So remembering, even though they're off table, these still count as a group, so it only costs 2 commands to bring them in. So we're going to put them here. Cost of 2. So we go down to 1, and we'll probably bring in the levy light infantry there as well. So yes, we'll put them all into that zone. So that leaves us 1 command to play with, and we can do a special cut price activation here. So if you remember, it usually costs 2 commands to activate a group, but you can use 1 command if the group is only going to turn. So we can activate this group to turn for just 1 command, which we'll do. So that's all the commands used up for their turn. Now we've got to choose lead units for zones which do not have a lead unit. So we've already got lead units here because these ones attacked. This one here, we're going to put the light cavalry in the lead because they're less of a target for the ominous approach of the veteran heavy cavalry there. Over here, they're automatically the lead unit. Here, we're going to choose the average light cavalry again, and here we don't really need to worry because no one's going to be in a position to attack them. There we go then, that's the Persian turn finished, and it's over to Alexander for his reply.